Yeah, since about 2001. So we're
Wow.
looking at that's when I got my first snakes were like 2001, and then I started to actually buy like expensive or animals in 2002.
Eh,
I was 5 years old.
Well, my first ever real big expense was $2,500. I was 20 years old.
right.
It was a albino female, and I paid cash for it. So I mean, he was tripping on something because I'm like, man, this guy's. I was starting to get a little bit afraid buying from him because I'm like, man, this guy's really out there.
I mean, was he tripping or did he have that much money? Because I heard some stories of people with duffel bags like full of
Oh,
cash at Daytonas and
oh yeah.
Tiffany's, dude. Like
That
I heard,
that's true. That's true. One time Ralph Davis, one of the big people that I first started to talk to in the industry, and he had his own forum on his website with all his own chats. They would have 2 or 3 nights a week where like Tracy Barker was in there, Ralph Davis was in there,
that's
Sean
awesome.
Bradley was in there, all these pioneer people. Kim Bell was in there. There was tons of like pioneer people because Ralph Davis was like one of the first, besides ballpythons.net, Ralph was one of the first guys to ever really build like a forum on his website.
Yeah, you know what? Because everyone gives a lot of credit to Brian Barczyk as they should, but there are certain things before Barczyk that kind of paved the way,
He was in there.
and Ralph Davis was that guy. Like and Brian
Yeah.
even Brian told me this too from himself. He's like, dude, he's like, I saw what Ralph was doing and basically kind of like took it to the next level. You know what I mean? How are you viewing pastel and all this right now?
I'm viewing it very, very carefully and not trying to add too much. Definitely not trying to make supers. Because if you do notice, like a lot of stuff that people are selling, it has pastel in it, or stuff that maybe has been on the market a while has pastel. Or if you look at the auctions, a lot of the animals have pastels. That kind of gives you an idea that these animals are having trouble selling. So kind of, I don't know, just to be like careful about not have. I mean, it's okay to have some, but not your whole entire collection be in with the supers. But I think it has its place. It makes some combos work great.
Like, okay, I love Lesser. Lesser hypo clowns are really pretty. A simple combo. Lesser hypo clowns is super pretty, but put pastel in it, and man, it ruins it. It ruins it. Okay, the definition of quality to you, MJ, might not be the same definition of quality to me because we're not on the same. We don't like the same thing. It's even some of the compatible things, like the original Orange Ghost stuff looks different than the original Bellline hypo, but you can put them together and you can get those prettier animals when you cross those two lines, even though they're compatible. You still get good animals out of there.
How you liking the hypo game?
I think hypo is on the come up.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think it's coming back big time. I geared my whole collection around that kind of thing. And in the market right now, I kind of heard your intro talking about, how the market is right now. The higher end animals, the biggest issue with the higher end animals right now to me is that a lot of breeders, like big time breeders like myself, that's been in it for so long, we have all the pieces to make a lot of these 15 and $20,000 animals. So at this point in time, we're not willing to spend that big money to get into these projects because we have all the pieces. We may even have the adults already ready to breed. We just haven't hit certain things. Yes, we can't have world peace, or, that's one thing I'm going to talk about right now. We can't really have world peace because if we had world peace, we'd use up all of our resources and we'd all be dead, or we'd all be obese and we wouldn't, I mean, that's just the way of the world. So we got to have some chaos. So to keep this thing going, we got to have some type of chaos and fights and whatever else. I've been watching the auction thing too a lot, and I haven't moved a lot of animals unless it was like cheaper stuff on the auction. One thing you can do though with an auction is if you want to use up your 4 auctions, go ahead and use your free ones if you're on a pro plan. But if you want to buy some, how about you gauge? You can literally, there is nothing more to gauge on pricing than an auction. So if you put animals up on auction for a reserve, and you put it up twice, and the animal say it's a $3,000 animal on the market right now, but it literally reaches half of that when you ran it on the auction twice. Now, to me, in the grand scheme of things, there's really no way to gauge pricing. We can all put these prices out there of these imaginary prices, but when you run an auction and you run it twice and you get around the same value, now to me, that's almost like the value of the animal, really.
Best case scenario situation right now. We are trying to move animals because we don't want to keep feeding something we don't need. Auctions could just go so many different ways. It all depends what you're looking to auction off first and foremost. Yeah, you got to look at the other expenses, like ball python game. Depending how you do it, you know, you could have low overhead, but you still have shit to pay for. Even if you breed your own rodents, like you got to pay for the food for that rodent.
Oh, definitely. You know, like my main rodent customer, I mean, I'm not going to say any names, and anybody that knows, but like, I mean, they've already cut my rodent product. They've already cut their orders by $500 per week. That's $2,000 a month. That's all my rodent food costs for the whole month.
It's a lot.
You got to balance those two out so you can take care of both, or you got to have money coming in from some other stream so you can pay employees to take care of both. I mean, let's face it, there's people in the business that they do have there's a lot of people that are in this business that even have a decent sized name and everything. They've got money coming in from all kinds of streams, you know, so they're not really worried about it. But I mean, to balance everything out, I mean, it's a hard thing. Too many animals. You know, I have enough for 350 adult females in my ball python room right now. And maybe someday I will fill that up, because as sad as I want to say, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. I grew up in Wisconsin in the dairy industry my whole life, farming.
I grew
So
up on a
back
farm.
when I was like 8, 10 years old, you know, there was a lot of family farms. Lots of family farms, you know, somebody milking 70, 80 cows in a stanchion barn. And that's kind of a thing of the past. That's kind of a thing of the past. And now what's happened is these big conglomerates with thousands of cows and freestall barns and, you know, big manure pits and all this type of thing. And I believe that the ball python thing is kind of headed towards something like that, where it's mass production. They're all gonna be pets.
What an example. And, oh my God.
I mean, bro, like, I mean, I don't want to be more, you know, I mean, we can all make money on this, but it's all going to take some work.
People are being very methodical on who they're spending money with. And that's what's making things hard right now, bro. But it should be like this. I'm glad it's getting harder, because guess what? It's gonna weed all those fucking L7 weedy bottom feeders out of here, bro. Like, we don't need the lazy motherfuckers in this game who are just here to fucking hold hands and swap stickers.
Just all you know, I do have business cards, and I used to have these really fancy plastic business cards. They were like 50 cents a piece, you know. But I was going to shows, and I'm like, man, there's kids just taking handfuls of these freaking 50-cent business cards. I can't be doing that. I do not have a stickers, so we cannot do a sticker swap. Is a lot more people can get in on a cheaper level, and when they don't have as much money at stake, they can offload the animals for a cheaper price. Hey, I only invested $2,000 in this DG Hypo Clown project. I mean, I literally seen triple hets for $390. The way this whole thing is like, I mean, you got to kind of know what you're doing, you know, and if you don't, like you're saying, if you don't get those baby steps, you just, I mean, you need that stuff.
And the baby step is the love. Like, I'm telling you, like, okay, shout out to the people out there who know they can't sell their shit, but they still love walking into their room because they love it. No matter what, you're going to be, those people are going to make it. They always make it, because
you're right.
They don't give a fuck what is happening on the selling side of things. They walk into their room, and I'm one of those people. Like, I don't sell a lot. I just now finally got success with chondros, but even if I didn't get success, guess what makes me get the fuck out of bed every day? Do you feel like people have come to you a lot with needing help IDing their stuff?
In a way, yeah. but at the same time, I do have other breeders that literally are on their Patreon Zoom calls saying, "Hey, man, this guy comes over every week. He's my rodent guy, and he helps me. He's got a different, better eye than I do. So, he even says, "Hey, man, we might look at these animals when they hatch and they shed, but then say I got the animals another month later, and they, get some good food in them, and they start to change a little bit, or from 100 grams in order to 400 grams. Like now you look back at it and say, hey, man, maybe it does have that gene in it.
Yeah.
But I do have some people that want to give me some credit. I have some people that just want to shut me out, shut me down.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, man, one of the biggest, I feel like, true challenges in the ball python game is knowing how to fucking look at what you're making, because a lot of people put themselves in a position where they're making crazy shit, but they don't even know what to call. They don't even know what they're looking at because they're not familiar with it. Like, I feel like if you skip a bunch
they don't have this is one thing too with the newer breeders and the people getting in and all that kind of thing. But basically what they can buy so much crazy stuff right now.
Yeah.
They don't have the experience of hatching those simple things
Yeah.
to get an eye for those simple things.
Yes.
So,
oh my God.
So that's what's hard for the new people coming in.
What's your take with Morph Market shipping feature? And what's your overall effect you think it's going to have for new keeper or new breeders and current breeders, all that stuff? Like, what's your take on Morph Market shipping?
People say a lot of bullshit about Darian, and there's some things I don't like that he does, but there's also, man, that guy saved me $300 last month. I could go buy a gosh damn used car for $300.
That's nuts.
Do you know how the shipping companies, why do you guys know why they're doing this? Like, ship your reptiles, Redline shipping, reptiles to you, or whatever that is.
What do you mean? Like, do I know why they're a third party company?
Do you know why they're doing it?
Because they're making a shit ton of fucking money off of us. What do you mean?
Exactly.
A lot of money.
So they ship mass volume packages. So they get kickbacks from FedEx. That's how they make their money, is going through the selling their labels at, say, a larger, more money, so that they get a kickback or a percentage of each shipment that gets shipped out. Now, I know a big breeder that's in another state, that ball python guy, that mass volume, he makes money on shipping his damn snakes.
Oh, that's gay. Bro, but that's
wild.
That's wild.
However,
bro,
here's another thing for everybody else that want to inquire on shipping and stuff from me. I'm not giving you a free box. I'm not giving you a free heat pack. I'm going to incorporate my gas because I drive an hour back and forth to the hub. You are going to pay me for shipping your damn animals. I mean, that's just the way it is, bro. Because guess what? I'm running a business and I cannot give away things for free.
I would say some of them get sassy with you too. And I'm like, I don't understand that. Like, I had one where, like, they made like an offer, and I was like, "Can you meet me in the middle?" And they're like, and then they shot back, and they were like, "Well, the middle will actually be the middle of the whole price, not the middle between what they offered and what I had it listed as."
What's up? Why'd you get rid of all your Sunset?
Man,
this ought to be good.
Sunset Clown. Like, I mean, even now that the hype, like, I've seen some hypo Sunset Clowns. I sold the project, sold somebody into it. It was just something that I'm like, man, when I just didn't want to work with it. Like, it was not pretty. No matter what the only sunset
have you seen the Ultramel sunset? Have you seen those?
That is nice. That's the best one.
What about the Sunset Puzzle?
What about the Sunset Puzzle? Yeah, what about the Sunset Puzzle, dude?
The Hypo Sunset, the Hypo Sunset, and the Ultramel Sunsets. If I had to work with Sunset, if I had to, that would be the only ones. The Puzzle Sunset, it might look good now, but give it a year or two. I mean, if they're gonna show it, if they're gonna be willing to show it to you after they've had it for a long time.
Showed his first one, that male. It's been shown.
Man,
that Puzzle's out there. It's everywhere right now.
Fuck a
What?
puzzle.
What? See, I
Whoa,
feel. I
Man.
mean,
whoa! You what he just
no,
said?
no,
Man, for
no,
real.
you
For real,
compare
dude. For
puzzle
real.
and clown. You can't tell me clown's not saturated. Come on, let's
No,
be
but
real.
clown-
You
Puzzle
look up
clown,
and
I
see
told
how many
people.
clowns there are.
Clown goes
I
further.
told people that the puzzle clown, I saw the first one ever made. I dig pictures up all over off of Google and shit. I've showed people multiple times, and I'm like, dude, it's really like
It's all right.
it ain't really that great. Like, and then the tri-stripe clown looks just like a leopard clown too. And I'm just like, dude, if you want to work it, hey, here it is. If you want to work it and you want to love it, go love it then. But I'm not loving it.